Hi, I'm Tom Stimson and welcome to AV Matters. Today's topic is rent or purchase. How do I decide whether to rent or purchase new equipment? And by rent, I mean sub-rent. Have a direct expense, add cost to your shows. Purchase, I mean own and accumulate depreciation over time as an expense. So before we even start the discussion, you have to look at your history. Do I need this equipment? Have I needed it in the past, or is this a new need? Is this something that's coming up in the future? Am I trying to replace something I already own that's generating revenue, but maybe has reached the end of its life, or is this new technology that I need for something that's coming up in the future? Look at your history and look at what you've been spending. I'm going to bring up a little trend that we've talked about amongst some of my clients. Back in the 90s when I started out in the business, we owned any general AV equipment we could have, and if we needed specialized equipment, we sub-rented it from someone else. We capitalized our capital investment, we maximized our capital investment by buying screens, simple projectors, slide projectors, sound systems. And if we needed specialized projectors, switchers, cameras, tape decks, we rented those from somebody else. In this century, the trend is to do the exact opposite. Organizations want to own the highly specialized equipment, the thing that's going to make or break them in the marketplace and help to differentiate themselves. And the everyday AV gear, they'll rent from anybody they can get it from. There's a huge wholesale market. There's lots of other companies that will rent you low-end projectors, screens, and mixing boards, wireless mics. So we've changed how we're doing things, but it doesn't change how we decide what to buy from a financial standpoint. So let's talk about the math that we're going to do when we're considering whether to rent something or to buy it. So when we're going to do the math, we got to compare some things. What we want to compare is my past and future subrentals so that I can get a period of time that tells me what the trend is for this piece of equipment. If I've been subrenting it in the past, I've got some good history. If I'm going to need to subrent it in the future, I can extrapolate that for a given amount of time. That subrental cost is weighed against the cost of depreciation. Now, for those of you who know, depreciation is the cost of what you purchase over time. Major purchases are not a one-time expense. You can amortize them over several years often, and that reduces your cost of ownership on a monthly basis to what we call the depreciation number, which in some cases can be quite low compared to what your subrental number is. So if you only have to subrent something a couple times a month, chances are that subrental is going to cost more than your depreciation. And if that's the case, then perhaps you should own it instead of subrenting it. But you have a limited capital budget, and you have a lot of choices like this. So we're going to have to do the math for all the items that we would like to have and figure out which makes the most sense to buy and which makes the most sense to keep subrenting. There are 3 categories of equipment that you need to consider in your CapEx budget. Number 1 category is buying equipment that will simply replace subrentals. In other words, I don't own enough of something. I need to own more of something to reduce subrentals. These are the easiest CapEx decisions you can make. Go ahead and buy that gear. It's probably 50% or more of your CapEx budget. The next item in your CapEx budget are the things that you know you're going to need in the future. You haven't necessarily needed them in the past, but based on the way business is going, the age of your equipment, maybe you need an HD projector to replace the projectors that aren't HD. That's a future need. So you evaluate your CapEx budget and your future subrentals against that depreciation. And that could be 25% of your budget. The third item in your CapEx budget are what I call strategic purchases. There's 2 ways of looking at this. This is money in your budget that you hold back for the things that you haven't thought about yet, or it's money that you use to buy items that you think will help you build your business in the future. Your salespeople will often tell you that, hey, if we owned this, we could rent it. But there's no history and there's no existing business to compare the math to. That's what we call a strategic purchase. If you think that you can get business and develop business and bring it to your customers in a way that they will like, then you might want to make that as a strategic purchase. And again, probably no more than 25% of your budget. Now remember, if the depreciation expense is less than the subrental cost, then you need to buy. And if it's not, then you might want to continue subrenting. And remember, the sooner that you buy something in the capital process, the sooner you can make money on it. Your equipment is your equity in your business. It's the majority of your balance sheet. And if the things in your balance sheet will make you money, the value of your business is going to go up. If the things in your balance sheet are not making you money, they're going to pull the value of your business down. So you want to retire equipment, get it out of your inventory as quickly as possible, and replace it with inventory that's going to make you money. And that's what we're all trying to do. I'm Tom Stimson, and thanks for watching.